There are few places which boast a heritage tied more closely to the sea than the coast of Massachusetts. In centuries past, clipper ships left her ports in search of the fortunes that would build a nation. Today, the only squaresoles which grace her seas carry vacationers who come to relax, to sail, or to fish the waters which once made Massachusetts the whaling capital of the world. Now, when you talk about fishing, you're on a subject I know something about. You know, the naturalists tell me that the arm of Cape Cod jutting into the sea creates the sharpest dividing line of anywhere along the coast for ocean life. So the variety of fishing in Massachusetts waters is just incredible. Arthur Cody's Trader 5 is fishing for swordfish in the waters off Cuddy Hunt. Before long, the first hookup is made. Instead of a swordfish, however, it turns out to be a rough, tough blue shark, which the boys decide to cut loose rather than bring aboard. A second hit proves to be a scrappy little school tuna who puts up quite a battle for the light rods the boys are using. You know what I like about fishing? It's something you can do on just about any scale. Harry Savage keeps his whaler up in Gloucester, and almost any good weekend finds the whole family out on the water. Like a lot of other small boat fishermen, Harry goes mainly for ground fish or school fish. These are loads of fun for the kids to catch and are darn good eating fresh out of the water. First fish aboard today was a summer flounder. Then the mackerel showed up so thick they practically jumped right into the boat. I guess all the boating activity along the Massachusetts coast began when the Mayflower dropped anchor in Plymouth Harbor 350 years ago. Now, Mayflower, too, draws visitors from all over the country. Aside from pleasure boating, much of the traffic in and out of Plymouth and other harbors along the coast consists of party boats taking passengers for a day of deep-sea fishing. Off Plymouth, you can usually plan on bringing aboard plenty of cod, along with a tangled line or two. But that's almost part of the fun.
That's somebody's line here.
Well, the gulls may chuckle at all of this, but if they're interested enough to follow you home, you can be sure you've had a pretty good day. If you don't have a boat of your own, there are charter boats almost everywhere, with captains who know where the fish are and can show you how to get them. The warm water south of Cape Cod offers some really exciting blue fishing. These hard-hitting fish will take quite a variety of lures, and you can take them either from a boat or from the surf. They're a great game fish.
Whose line is it now? This. Ronnie?
Yeah.
There's your fish. Beautiful.
The striper fishing's outstanding all over Massachusetts. Mike and Diane Glynn of Andover took a day of their vacation to try for bass in the tide rips around the island south of the Cape. Aboard a bass boat out of Nantucket, they sidled up to a piece of whitewater off the west tip of Tuckernuck Island and began to cast plugs. Just to show the little woman who the expert was, Mike got the first strike, but landed a battling bluefish rather than a striper. Then Diane got one on. This is a real thrill when you hook your first good game fish. Turned out to be the first striper of the day, about 9 pounds. Well, a 9-pound striper is a good beginning, and for Mike and Diane, it was just a beginning. Sometimes in a cast, a fish would charge straight out of the face of a wave and take the plug in midair. Man, that's good fishing. But Mike didn't stop at good fishing. On one cast, he brought in both a striper and a bluefish on the same plug. That's great fishing. Well, Diane couldn't top that, but she did bring in the biggest fish of the day, a striper about 16 pounds. Nice fish. If you have time while you're in Nantucket or New Bedford, you should visit the whaling museums there. They have the best collections in existence of the relics of whaling days. Being enthusiastic fishermen by this time, the Glynns became intrigued with the idea of going after a really big catch. Not a whale, but maybe the equivalent for today's kind of fishermen. Early one morning, they left Newburyport to head out to sea for tuna. From midsummer to about October, the giant bluefins are in Massachusetts waters, and there are dozens of charter boat captains from Cape Cod to the North Shore who can help you get a crack at one.
Guys, add to the lobster, boys, and while I put the baits out.
Generally, you'll troll a chain of mackerel or squid, or a combination of the two. If you find a spot where the mackerel are riling up the water, there's a good chance tuna will be there too. Sure enough.
Take it out of gear. Hurry up.
Mike gives Diane the thrill of getting into the chair with this fish, and he backs her up.
Not too much on it now, maybe 60 yards or so. Here he is. Again.
Wow, what a
big
view.
fish. Gee, that looks like a big one, isn't it, huh?
Cheers to that.
Yeah, push it right along.
The reel has to be cooled constantly as the fish strips line off against the break.
See him right there?
Oh, I do. I see him. Now, what's the difference? I had it on the other rod.
You got it on 130 test. This here is on a 180-pound test. So you can work him a little bit harder, you know. The hook is a-
Finally, after 55 minutes, the double leader is in hand. The big fella has given up.
You get that rope and that small gap.
This fish later weighed in at 514 pounds. Not bad at all for a gal who had never landed anything larger than a 16-pound striper. A couple of hours later, there's another hookup.
Fish on bait! Isn't that beautiful when they come up that close?
Mike takes this one
Get
on.
him if we can get him to the boat.
Yeah, I'll get him to the
I'm
boat.
gonna back down, but keep pressure on him.
Turn the chair a little bit. I got 2 inches.
He got 2 inches.
62 minutes after the strike, the tuna is boated. Both of these fish came in something like record time, because believe me, you can battle these babies for hours.
Get under it.
We were fishing for tuna off Provincetown one day, and we're in continual radio contact with a boat that hooked up with a fish at 9:30 in the morning and didn't boat it till about 3:30 in the afternoon. Now that's a real struggle for you. Mike's fish weighed in at 688 pounds. No contest as to who's still the fishing champ of the family. And Diane wouldn't have it any other way. So you see, as I said before, fishing is something you can do on just about any scale. And in Massachusetts, it's all here. There's great saltwater fishing for everyone, no matter how you go about it. And a wealth of New England hospitality ashore, which will make a Massachusetts shore vacation one you'll never forget.